This is Red, White, and Bluegrass.
As the incoming lawmakers with us this morning prepare to start their legislative journeys, they are entering the General Assembly as increased scrutiny falls on leadership over the transparency of the process. Last month, the League of Women Voters released a follow-up to last year's report outlining their critiques and data over time to demonstrate what they call fast-track measures to advance legislation in ways they say cuts the public out of the process. For example, a rise in so-called shell bills from 24 filed 10 years ago to 140 filed this year.
The average Kentuckian should care because bills are being discussed without their input. Legislation is being passed without their input. And when we find out what the impact is, it's often too late to turn it around.
We see it all the time. Requests from the governor's office across the street, or something pops up in the last few days. And I can give you examples of it that, wait a minute, we don't have something drafted and ready to go under our rules at that time, so let's take that shell bill and put it in and try to do as much communications as possible, because this hadn't really come to the forefront at the time we started the session.
In a conversation with Senate President Robert Stivers, he told me that he has not read the report and questioned the group's political leaning. So, Ms. Grossl, I want to start with you here. Are any of the criticisms that are being made by the League valid, or is there any dispute?
Well, I agree with President Stivers in this regard. I feel like there's a lot of bills that come up. If you are doing your job as a legislator, you have a good pulse on your constituency and how they feel on a large number of issues, and furthermore, the constituents should feel like they have a direct line to you to reach out, whether it's through the Frankfort hotline or calling or emailing you as their representative.
Mr. Moore, same question. What do you think of the findings?
Well, I think it was a radical idea 250 years ago when Americans decided that the people should have a say in what their government's doing, and that still holds true today. But there's still some impediments to that. I should be able to read the text of a bill before I'm expected to vote on it. But if we do have, a committee sub approved at the last minute, which then is fast-tracked onto the House floor and doesn't even get its third reading that exact same day, not only do I may not have an opportunity to vote with a good mind for my constituents of course can't read what the new bill is and to call me or to email me on it. Now, I understand that it's easy to exaggerate maybe how bad something is. I understand what the League of Women Voters is saying. We can do better, though, absolutely. It's not that things are terrible, but there should be opportunities for us always to improve, always to do a better job for transparency. And
you mentioned something there that I wanted to make sure to ask you all about, which is has any thought, has any consideration been made as to what will happen whenever inevitably you're in a committee sub gets approved that you've not had a chance to read, and you got to vote on it? How are you going to act in that moment, and what's going to be the thinking that contributes to your decision?
Vanessa put it really intelligently and really well. We should know our district. No one knows our district better than us. Like, that is our job, to represent our 45,000 plus people in Frankfort. So we have to fall back on those relationships we've built, the experiences we've had with our constituents.
Ms. Grossl?
Yeah, I agree with that. And, we just learned how to run all the software and everything there in Frankfort on our desks. And so I think that we will be able to pull up the Cliff Notes and scan and make that vote.
Is there any added challenge there of being a new member? And, there may be times where you have to go against the stream or what may be considered popular by leadership in order to achieve what effectively you want to see your constituents get done.
I know we both represent purple districts, and that's why our races were so close. So both of our parties, our leadership might have a hardline view to the left or to the right on something, but I think our voters know it's our job to be kind of moderates, whether it's a moderate Democrat or a moderate Republican, and I think voting with that kind of wisdom is what we need to do.
Yeah, I would agree with that, actually. I was really proud to be the first candidate in Kentucky endorsed by the Forward Party, which is not left, not right, but forward. I think the voters in this district want me to represent them well and move the issues forward that matter to them. And so don't expect me to always follow the party. I am privileged to have this opportunity to represent, and I want to be authentic and true to myself. in the seat, just as I was on the campaign trail.
We got a little less than a minute left here, and you touched on something a little bit earlier that I wanted to mention, which is, how do you keep constituents informed and reach them whenever, is there any challenges or things that you learned from the campaign trail that can be applied here moving forward to reach those voters?
I think sometimes when we talk about constituent concerns, I think going back to the previous topic, pre-filing of bills and things like that often lead to a lot of conspiracy theories and panic, and so I'm going to be the person that people can count on to give them the straight truth. I, of course, will hold privileged conversations sacred and keep those things to myself when need be. But I want people to know that they can count on me to be straight with them.
Last word, Mr. Moore.
And I had a weekly newsletter during the campaign. I also did Zoom town halls so anyone could join, and things like that I would love to continue doing as their representative.
All right.